enough to be asked to put this together, or I was honored enough rather, to be asked to put this together again this year, because I know we haven't had a reunion in quite some time. And so I am thrilled with how many came, because I wasn't sure if we were going to have 4 or 400. I had no idea. So thank you all for coming out. And those that don't know who I am, Theresa was my great-grandma, and Sue was my grandma, and Alan was my dad. And so I stem from Martin and Nellie, and it just kind of trickles down. And this is my new baby. He's my grandbaby, Jaden. So we got another generation going. But I've never seen so many wonderful pictures and memorabilia and history, even from the area, not just our family, but kind of where we're from. So thank you all for bringing all of that. I would like to continue doing reunions. I love seeing family, and maybe in the spring. I think it would be easier for everyone because school's not back in session and all the busy stuff that goes along with the end of the year. But so if everyone would like, I know Aletha put a notebook out, and it's for contact information, so it just has who you're related to, and then your address and phone number and email, and that way we can make sure that we are able to contact you again. And then I don't know if everyone's okay with this location.
There's better locations. I'll get with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so we can make sure that we all know where we're going, because I live down in Fort Smith, Arkansas, so I was trying to plan a location that was relevant for everyone, not knowing where everyone was going to be coming from. But I am thrilled. I would like for some of you, I don't know, and I'd like for, to get to know some of you. I know Aunt Jo and Aletha and many, but there are many that I don't. So if you don't mind, if you could just kind of stand up and tell me a little bit about where you came from. I'll start with my brew because they're mine. So these are my children, Eli, Olivia, and Megan. And then I have 2 other boys that aren't here. One lives in Kansas and one lives in Colorado. And this is Sophia. She's an added addition. And this is Marvin, an added addition. And they belong to my crew. And this is my husband, Rob. And so we'll start with you.
I'm not the family.
Kathy?
This is my mom here.
Okay.
So we're on the Oak side.
My dad was Emery Oaks, which is Denny's brother.
Yes.
And then this is my oldest son Jason, and Rebecca and Callie is Jason's wife. And then we've got.
Oh, wait a minute, Kathy. That sounded like Rebecca and Callie were Jason's
Yeah, oh, Rebecca's.
I'm her daughter.
Thank you. Okay, so this is 2 of my 4 children. Rebecca was the second, and then I've got 2 other children, Michael and Diana. So now that we've got that clear, and then, yeah, so Jace over here belongs to Jason and Callie, and we've got a Sophia that belongs to Rebecca and me. Yeah, and she is somewhere. Where they live. There she is.
Hello.
Yeah. So I'm hoping to get some answers today. So my mom, when she passed away, I've done all these pictures of a long time ago, and somehow we didn't get that. I don't know if anybody would know who these people are, but I really would like to find out if anybody, I'm hoping Benny or who these
The old lady and
or if some of you guys might know, but we've got, anyway, if I would like to get these pictures out and see if anybody can help me out with
Tell them who your grandma was. Your grandma.
And Leon, Granny Oaks, Leon, and then on my mother's side was Earl and Rosie Martin. So I'm a Martin and an Oaks.
Okay.
And then Eileen and I are cousins, and we married cousins, so, yeah, we're trying to get all this straight on who's married. Somehow I think we all married each other, but. Anyway.
Makes us feel a little weird.
What
they
did.
You're in McDonald County, Jason.
Clearly.
So, let's see, Eileen and I, and Joe is the oldest of Granny's, right? Of Granny, Granddad Oaks. Joe, you were first. And then it was Carol and Jack. Well, Jack's older than
Jack's
mine.
a year older than me.
Yeah, Carol. And then I'm a month older than Eileen. And then it started from there, so we were like the first.
But then your great grandma was a Forbes, so that's what
Leon was
it
a Forbes.
was. Leon was a Forbes.
Yeah, okay, so that's what we're all here is to get it all
Yeah,
straight.
So that's how you're a Forbes, so.
I know.
Leon was a Forbes.
Yes, she was. And I don't know if anybody knew the Martins, Earl
Oh,
and
I
Rosie
did,
Martin.
I did, I love them.
She may
well.
have some of your answers.
She
might just have some of your answers.
I sure hope so.
Aunt Linda has
I know everything.
Yes, she knows all the answers.
Phil Martin was the best friend that I ever had.
Really.
I love him, he was a character.
And I imagine you could tell some
Oh, I
stories
could tell
about
some
you and
stories.
Earl, yeah, when you guys were young.
He was 3 years older than me, but he was probably my best friend.
Really? I remember Mom talking about when she was in school, she was just a little bitty thing. But when she was in school, she had in fact, I think I got the lunch box. And her younger Phil, that he's talking about, had this big old head of hair. And so some of the kids were making fun of her little brother. So she took this lunch box and she fixed him. I never made fun of him again, but I'll never forgive her telling about that story, so. She took care of her little brother. And I think Daddy took care of you, didn't he? So you together.
He tried.
Yeah, oh well, he tried. Right. Anyway. So that's it.
Did you meet Phil down on when you guys were first living
And
on?
I was in the first grade and he was in the fourth.
Oh, I didn't know.
I've got a picture sitting on the steps of the old Poplar Hill Schoolhouse.
Should have brought that.
I've got one.
And my mother was their-
I think I got one.
My mother was their teacher one year,
Huh?
and my mother was your teacher
Yeah,
one
your
year.
mother.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, she was my teacher when I was in the fourth grade.
In the fourth grade, so he would have been in the eighth grade.
Rachel, a lady by the name of Rachel Bunch was my first grade
I wonder
teacher.
if that got the picture, maybe that's it.
You remember Alita?
I remember her dad, yeah, I remember.
On one of those ridges.
So how far apart did you guys live from the Martins? Because
From who?
from Rosie and Earl were moms, because Daddy and Mom met down there at Sugar Creek, but where
Well,
were you
when-
guys living?
From where I was born, we were just a little ways from
From
where
each
they
other?
were. I was born in the Rock House right there where at the Y, you know, right?
And I don't know how far is that for,
It wasn't very far.
oh, really?
A bunch of pictures of the rock house in my phone.
Is that house still there?
Yeah, I've got a bunch of pictures of it in my phone.
You can't see it from the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right in the Y. You go right by. It's right in the Y. You see it from the road.
That's what you're talking about?
Different.
That's a different rock house.
No,
No truth in
No,
it.
no, one by the cemetery.
We're talking about up on top of the hill from.
That's the one you moved to that you helped. The one on 76 is the one that's all covered up by the pine trees that you lived in when you were 10, right?
Travis, and you
On
must be
76 highway.
Yeah.
That built there.
Yeah, I've got a
That's the
bunch of
one that
pictures
you,
of it.
okay, that's the one you moved into when you were like 10 years old.
It's still standing.
The roof's caving in, but it's still standing, yeah.
It's not great, but it's still.
Yeah.
I go by it all
So
the
that's
time.
the,
So,
so what road is that on the one, that rock house? Is that on Calvin Ridge Road?
Calvin Ridge, yeah, it's up on the
It's on
ridge.
Calvin.
County Ridge
Okay.
and Meadow Road.
Yeah.
Okay.
That intersection.
That's
So
why,
that one's still there?
that's where I was
It's-
born.
Yeah, I'll show you some pictures.
It's funny because Grandpa Forbes had, well, Grandma, I call her Grandma Kurt, it was Theresa, and she was born in a rock house, and we were talking, we were just like, is that the same rock house?
No.
But it's
No,
a different
it's
rock
not.
house.
Yes, there was a lot of rock.
No, cause Lester, my understanding was your dad built that rock
Yeah,
house with his
that's
own
what I
hands.
was always
Yeah.
told.
Built both of them.
He built both of them.
He picked those rocks up out on the ridge out there, just northwest of
Now,
there.
which one are you talking about, the one on Calvary?
Yeah.
Cause I thought he also built the one on
He may have.
76. Did
Yeah, he
you?
built one
Built
on
it.
76 too.
Okay.
But the house where I was born was the house there that, what you there on.
So when you live on a
And
rock
that's,
house.
you're talking about the one that's at the Y.
Yeah.
That rock, okay, yeah, that's right out the middle.
Yeah, it's right out on the road. You ready for me now? No.
Well, Phil was 3 years old. I've got a picture when I was in first grade. He was in. I'll ask him tomorrow. I think Mary was teaching, no, it was Rachel Bunch was the school teacher. Of us sitting on the front porch of the old steps of the old schoolhouse there at Copper Hill. I would have been 6 years old. And Phil was 3 years older than me. And he's sitting, I've got, and he's in the picture too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Phil was my best friend growing up.
So I was looking at these pictures that Mom had given me, and I put it on the front page because I thought it was me when I was a little one. I don't think it's me. I was looking at him with a magnifying glass. I think it may be her. But we gotta find out.
Me?
No, I leave.
Oh.
So I've gotta find out whether that's her or me or somebody in between. I don't know.
Mom could probably tell you,
She might, I mean.
cause
well,
she knew you both when you were little.
She didn't.
Well, we weren't
remember
that
long.
long. You come along and
Here we are, there's me and you. You're the pretty one, I'm the strong one.
I'm not sure who's who now.
And that's you, and that's me.
Okay, I think this one I got is not me.
Well, you look so much like Rosie and
Let me see it on.
Okay. It would be hard.
And Karen and I need to tell who they are now.
Yeah, we're gonna get these out. This one I think is you.
I remember the first time I ever met you. Well, I had.
Oh, okay, that's enough. Let's move on.
Oh, yeah. I was afraid to say anything.
Don't tell my
I was
grandkids.
afraid to say anything, and she's sitting there pinching me.
We gotta break her in. You were legit, what were you, like 17?
Yep, something like that.
Wow.
Uncle Denny, tell who you are.
Huh?
Tell who you are.
Tell them who you are.
Well, I'm Daniel.
Oh, yeah?
Tell them how you're related.
He was born.
Related to who?
Everybody.
The Forbes this is a Forbes
My
reunion.
mother was
They
Forbes.
built a
My
house.
mother was a
They got
Forbes,
married
my
on
dad
the
was
back
an
of that
Oaks.
house, and that's where Mom and Dad had.
And,
Let's see,
what
there's
else?
that back.
So Dad, your mom was a sister
See, so it's
to Uncle Mark and
Uncle Nick.
Uncle Mont
Oh,
and
that's
Uncle
good.
Nick and Uncle Carl.
Yeah.
Somebody had a bunch of stuff.
And were there some aunts
There was
besides
nine of them in
Is
that
that one
family.
still
your
there?
grandma?
Yeah, my grandma, Luella,
Oh, I've got to
who
see
died,
that.
This
my
picture
mother
was
was the
taken
baby.
in.
And were Luella and Leon the only
No,
girls?
there was
picture was
Aunt
taken in
Alice,
2016.
Bruce Arliss and Dennis's grandmother.
Oh, okay, yeah,
There were
okay.
3 girls and 6 boys.
So that's how they're related. I never knew that.
So lived over here.
So,
Edward, Hale, Luella, Martin, Leon, Monty, Marion, and Carl.
so that means that
There were some halves. in
we
there.
are
Okay.
second cousins to Arliss and,
Yes.
And Arliss couldn't come today, because he had a prior commitment. But yeah, there were 9 of them, and there were only 3 girls. And I knew, you know, at my age, I knew all of them except my grandmother, because my grandmother died right after my mother was born. And I know where they're all buried at Union. So someday, I would hope we could all go to Union and I could show you. You know,
So
the
they're all
graves.
married at,
They're all
buried at Union
except
Cemetery?
Aunt Alice. Aunt Alice is buried in Lanigan. But all the other children of Grandma and Grandpa Forbes are buried at Union. And, except Aunt Alice, and I finally found her grave at Union. And, but, you know, it's kind of sad, like I say, I knew them all except my grandmother. And Uncle Hale, a lot of people didn't know him, but he didn't have children, and he went blind when he was older, and he lived with us, and he was the sweetest thing, but he had Braille books, and he would have Braille, he would read in Braille, and I loved him so much. And we were never allowed to touch his Braille books, but boy, Verlene and I, you know, we'd go to bed, we'd get out there and then he would have trouble reading them, you know, and we'd say, you know, of course, we were innocent, but I feel bad now because those books were expensive, you know, and he'd save his money to buy his Braille books, and I know Verlene and I missed him.
He lived with us for a while, too.
Did he? Yeah, it wasn't sweet.
He lived
Well,
with
was
us
your is your
for a
house,
while.
the house you all grew up in, is it still there?
The chimney is still there, where we grew up first, what we called the old home place. And
Right.
when we went to Poplar Hill School, we walked up over the hill and went through Earl and Rosie Martin's property to go across the road to Poplar Hill School. So I went to school where Denny did
Yeah.
in Poplar Hill. And,
Who was the teacher when you went to school? Remember?
there was a Mr. Bunch.
Bunch.
Yeah, it was Mr. Bunch. But then we moved to California, and then when I came back, they had consolidated in Rocky County. So I just went second grade, maybe there, third.
Yeah, I know when we lived there on the farm, it was 2 miles. I walked morning and night.
That was a long
And
walk.
I'll never forget, we had a Guernsey bull. Cause that bull would follow me from the house out to the gate, walking about 3/8 of a mile. Cause he was on his side of the fence and I was in the And he'd follow me all the way out to the line fence and bellowed and pawing the ground.
Oh, he was wanting to get you.
If he could got out, I had to outrun him. So he could got out.
Those were the good old days, weren't they?
2 miles, you know, if a kid had to walk 2 miles to school now,
Yeah.
No, they don't believe that
They
you ever
wouldn't.
did,
No.
Denise, so it's no problem.
That's true.
I remember.
I'll never forget, your granddad, Earl Martin,
Oh, boy.
I was walking to school one day,
Oh, my.
and he saw me coming, and he hid behind a tree.
Oh.
About the time I got up, he jumped out and squalled right real loud, and I said, Earl, I'll make you pay for that. Well, years later, when we were both working for Phil, I'd hide in the closet. He'd come in the room and I'd jump out. He'd say, and I'm gonna use this word because this is the word he used. Gosh dang you, Denny, why did you do that? I'd say, Earl, do you remember?
Yeah, Phil always put him in the closet to do
Yeah.
the drywall.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
He thought that was a special place for him to work in the closet.
Yeah.
Was it my turn? Okay, well, I'm Linda Memphis Baldwin, and my mother's mother was Luella Forbes. And like I said, she died from tuberculosis right after my mother was born. So Grandma Forbes took my mother to raise. Her father was John Beaver, and he had 3 little boys in stair steps, you know, just 3 little boys. And then he had other children, because his wife before that had died and left him with children. Then he married Luella, and they had 3 little boys. And then she had a little baby Velma, who died, and, so Grandma Forbes took the baby to raise. And, it wasn't that her father didn't want her, he just couldn't handle all of those children.
And by Grandma Forbes, you mean Julia Etta.
Julia Etta, yes. And so that was the only mother that Mama ever knew. And, so I don't, Mother never remembered her mother at all. And Mama wanted to be buried by her mother, but Uncle Hayo's in between Mama, and so Mama's buried in Union by her. And, but I was, you know, at my age, I did know all of that first generation of Forbeses, and I knew and loved all of them. And then Joe and Vicky, Joe and Lori were cousins in a half, because Aunt Leon and Luella were